a grand chapel, a princess, a cheering crowd. We all know the script for a royal wedding, right? The perfectly polished pageantry, the ancient protocols, the kind of storybook romance that sweeps the whole world off its feet. It's a formula we know and love, a peek into a world of unbelievable tradition and splendor. But the wedding of Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank on October 12, 2018? That was different. This wasn't just about tradition. It was a deeply personal story of love and courage that set it apart. This wasn't just another royal wedding. It was a statement that real beauty is in our imperfections, that love should be celebrated in a way that feels true to you, and that even in the oldest of institutions, there's room for a new kind of fairy tale. So, what really made this royal wedding feel so modern? Long before the grand procession and the global audience, their story had a simple, relatable beginning. It didn't start in a palace ballroom or at a state dinner. It began on the snowy slopes of Verbier, Switzerland, way back in 2010. Princess Eugenie, then 20, and Jack Brooksbank, 24, were introduced by friends on a ski trip. Both have said it was love at first sight. Eugenie would later say, "We have the same passions and drive for life." What came next wasn't a whirlwind romance, but a steady, grounded relationship built over almost a decade. They faced challenges that test any modern couple, like going long distance when Eugenie moved to New York City for her career in the art world. But their bond held strong, with Jack revealing they basically lived on Skype to stay close. That real-world foundation made the proposal all the more special. In January 2018, while on a trip to Nicaragua, Jack asked Eugenie to marry him. She called the moment a complete surprise. "The lake was so beautiful. The light was just a special light I had never seen," she recalled. "I actually said, 'This is an incredible moment,' and then he popped the question. He even proposed without a ring, wanting her to help design it, a truly modern, collaborative touch. The final ring featured a rare pink Padparadscha sapphire, which looked strikingly similar to the engagement ring her father, Prince Andrew, gave to her mother, Sarah Ferguson. It was a perfect nod to family history, yet totally their own. On October 12, 2018, all eyes turned to Windsor. The venue was St. George's Chapel, the same historic place where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had married just 5 months earlier. While the chapel is steeped in 500 years of royal history, the couple's approach was anything but a carbon copy. They invited 850 guests, a larger crowd than the chapel often holds for such events, filling the historic space to the brim and creating an atmosphere that was both grand and intensely personal. But their modern vision didn't stop there. Eugenie, a passionate environmentalist, announced her goal was to have a plastic-free wedding. For an event of this size, that was a bold, forward-thinking mission. From the start, the message was clear. This day would honor tradition, but it would be defined by their personal values. As Princess Eugenie stepped out of the 1977 Rolls-Royce Phantom 66, the world saw a bride glowing with joy. But it was what she chose not to wear that made the most powerful statement of all, a veil. This was a deliberate decision. Her dress, designed by Peter Pilotto and Christopher DeVos, had a neckline that folded around the shoulders and dipped into a low back. This design was a specific request from the princess herself. At age 12, Eugenie underwent an 8-hour operation to correct scoliosis, a condition that curves the spine. The surgery left her with a long scar, a permanent reminder of that difficult time. Instead of hiding it, she chose to honor it. The low back of her dress purposefully revealed the scar for the world to see. In her own words, Eugenie explained her choice. "It's a lovely way to honor the people who looked after me and a way of standing up for young people who also go through this." She added, "I think you can change the way beauty is, and you can show people your scars, and I think it's really special to stand up for that." This wasn't just a fashion choice. It was a revolutionary act of vulnerability on a global stage. She even invited representatives from the Royal National Orthopedic Hospital to the wedding, paying tribute to the team that helped her walk down the aisle. In that moment, Eugenie redefined what it means to be a fairy tale princess, trading the myth of perfection for the powerful truth of her own story. The dress itself was woven with personal symbols: a thistle for Scotland, a nod to their love for Balmoral; a shamrock for Ireland, for her mother's heritage; the York rose, and ivy, representing their home, Ivy Cottage. She paired the gown with the Greville emerald Kokoshnik tiara, which was lent to her by her grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. Inside the stunning chapel, the service was a beautiful mix of Anglican tradition and deeply personal touches. The Dean of Windsor, David Connor, led a service with traditional vows, but woven into the familiar ceremony were threads that were uniquely Eugenie and Jack. The music, for one, was spectacular, featuring 2 soaring performances by the world-renowned tenor Andrea Bocelli, accompanied by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. But the most talked-about modern touch was a literary one. For one of the readings, Eugenie's sister and maid of honor, Princess Beatrice, read an excerpt from F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. The officiant explained the personal meaning behind the unusual choice, revealing that Eugenie was reading the novel when she first met Jack, and the description of Gatsby's smile immediately made her think of him. The passage read, "It was one of those rare smiles with a quality of eternal reassurance in it. It understood you just as far as you wanted to be understood, believed in you as you would like to believe in yourself." It was a surprising, literary, and deeply romantic glimpse into their private world, a modern flourish in the heart of an ancient ceremony. The service ended with prayers, the national anthem, and a tender moment as the couple bowed and curtsied to the Queen before walking out into the sunlight for their first public kiss on the West Steps. The celebrations that followed were as unique as the couple, stretching over 2 days and blending royal formality with modern fun. First, the Queen hosted a formal luncheon for all 850 guests at Windsor Castle, where they enjoyed champagne and a 5-tier red velvet and chocolate cake decorated with autumnal leaves. Later that evening, the party moved to Royal Lodge, the home of Eugenie's parents, for a black tie reception. Eugenie changed into a second breathtaking gown, a blush silk dress by American designer Zac Posen. The night was filled with personal touches, like gourmet pizza from a food truck and a surprise performance by pop star Robbie Williams. But it was the party on day 2 that really broke the royal mold. Instead of another stuffy gathering, Eugenie and Jack threw a festival-themed party on the grounds of Royal Lodge. The relaxed funfair atmosphere had it all: dodgems, a carousel, and carnival games. Pop star Ellie Goulding performed for the guests, many of whom had ditched their formal wear for more casual looks. Eugenie herself even rocked a customized biker jacket with Mrs. Brooksbank embroidered on the back. It was a fun, relaxed, and completely modern way to celebrate their marriage, showing off their personalities in a way protocol never could. From proudly showing her scar to throwing a festival-themed party, Princess Eugenie's wedding created a new blueprint for what a royal celebration can be. It honored history while bravely making its own. Now we want to hear from you. Which royal wedding is your favorite, and what moment made it so special? Let us know in the comments below. The wedding of Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank was more than just a beautiful day. It was a masterclass in blending the weight of history with an authentic personal touch. It was a story that chose courage over conformity and authenticity over outdated ideals. By daring to show her scar, Eugenie showed the world her strength. By choosing readings and celebrations that reflected their true selves, she and Jack reminded us that at the heart of every great fairy tale, there has to be a real, relatable love story. They gave us all the pageantry we expect from a royal wedding, but they injected it with a personality and purpose that was all their own. And in doing so, they wrote their very own modern fairy tale.